personally, how do you feel your season progressed, and did it finish the way maybe you wanted it or not wanted it to?
Yeah, I think a lot of ups and downs with obviously being hurt in the middle of the season never comes easy, but I think there's always room for improvement, and I think I've said it all year, just kind of being more confident in my abilities and being more consistent. But yeah, I think it's give and take everything that happened this year. It was a pretty good year.
What was the process like from your perspective when Danny makes the coaching change, and how did that maybe affect the team the rest of the way, just from where you're sitting?
Yeah, I think I've gone through it once before. I think a lot of the time it's never easy, but a lot of the time too, it's part of the responsibility falls on the players, and I think we knew that in the room, and we wanted to kind of make sure that we were doing our part to kind of fix things the best we could, and obviously Shawzy stepping in. It's been a while since he's been put in that role, so when it comes to that, it's just kind of helping each other out, and I think we did realize in the room that part of the issue was us, and we wanted to stick together and do our best.
Last year you were near the top of the league in terms of shots on goal. You were close to 300. This year you had 101 fewer shots on goal. I guess, what do you think attributed to that? Was that a conscious adjustment on your part, or was that something else?
No, I think it's all just how the games go. It's such an unpredictable game with how things are going to go. I think for a lot of the times you're put in different situations. I think for a lot of the time, if you can relate that to power play, I think a lot of the time I was coming downhill with a lot more opportunity to shoot. I guess you could say at a higher rate, but no, I mean obviously every time I get a chance, I'm going to shoot, and it's news to me. I wasn't aware of that, but no.
What was it like having Bradshaw running the forward group?
Yeah, it was different. Obviously, you're with him all year, and you see how smart he is and the mind he has for the game. But to put him in the middle and for him to kind of express his feelings throughout the whole team instead of just the D, and kind of get to learn more about him as a forward and seeing him more, it was nice. He's, like I said, he's really smart, sees the game really well, and he can make adjustments on the fly, which was good.
When the team went through some periods this year where it was really hard for anyone to get a goal, did you feel like you were putting maybe a little too much on your own shoulders to kind of carry on with the load?
Yeah, I think that's natural. Like you said, we did go through stretches where we didn't score for a couple games, and I think that stretch where we got shut out for 3 or 4 games in a row, I was hurt, and sometimes sucks even more being able to watch, knowing you might be able to make a difference. But I think it's natural for anybody to put more pressure on themselves when things aren't going your way, because you want to be the guy to kind of turn things around and make a difference.
When you got hurt, Owen, from that hit, the rest of the season, did it feel like it just took time to kind of get back to yourself? Like, do you feel any kind of lingering effects from just like missing time and having to jump right back in?
Yeah, it was one of those tough ones. Quite frankly, it ended up being worse than we thought it was originally, so I think the break came at a good time. Still lingering a little bit with certain things, but like I said earlier, it's anytime you miss that amount of time, it's going to be tough coming back, and but I think, like I said, the break came at a really good time for myself.
Do you need any surgery?
No.
What's kind of the next step for you for next year?
Yeah, I think I haven't met with Danny or anything yet, so just seeing where that goes, and taking some time to kind of reset and take some time and just get away from the game for a little while, and come back with a clear mind next year.
Is there anything you want to improve? I mean, personally, like anything inside your game that you want to maybe take the next step on next year?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, like I said, just being more consistently and taking that next step in a higher role, and I think with everything that happened with moves or whatever, I think kind of caused me to realize that I might be a little bit older than I feel. But no, it's I'm excited to come back next year, and I think a lot of the guys are.
Oh, and everyone knew it's a business, and you went through a trade yourself a couple of years ago. But did it take a while to kind of reel everything back in as in the room as a team when guys you're close with are getting dealt and a team leader like Bob?
Yeah, I think Frosty and Beezer was a really tough one for me. Those were two guys I knew before I even got traded here, and just the shock factor of it all was tough for me. And obviously, like you said, the room guys like Lottie and EJ, it's never easy for, all those guys had big roles in the room and were big parts of our locker room. So to see those guys go, it's tough, but in my experience, the trade kind of helped me. So obviously excited for those guys to have a new experience, but we definitely miss them.
Last one? All right, thanks, Owen.
Good.
Thanks, Owen.
Thanks, guys.